Okay. So in singly linked list, what we have learned is from inserting node to the linked list to up to the deleting. That means inserting at the front, inserting at the middle, and deleting a node as well. While deleting a node, we need to search for we need to see the particular conditions. That means the intended node that we want to delete might be in at the first place of the linked list, that might also be in the middle of the linked list, or that might be at the last of the linked list. And depending on those situations, the delete operation may vary. That means if the node is at the front of the linked list, then there might be different conditions while removing that item, that node, because we need to point head to the different item and all those things. And if the item or if the node is at the middle of the linked list, then there might be different conditions. That means the pointing from previous node to the next node and all those. And if the node, intended node that we want to delete, is at the last of the linked list, then there might be different condition. So that means depending on where the intended node that we want to delete is that resides, then we apply similar condition. So we have done all of these things, होइन? हामीले यो गरिसक्यो नि, बुझ्छ नि अब, होइन? यसमा अब म रिपिट गर्दिनँ है, किनभने हामीले लङ टाइम नै लाएर मैले आफैले गरेको छु. So what we learned in this chapter is creating a singly linked list, how we can create singly linked list, traversing through the singly linked list, and displaying its content. We know how to traverse from beginning to the last. Searching a node with a specific element, we have also applied, or we have also put a function search to find out the element in the linked list. Inserting new node at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the linked list. And also we have learned to delete the node, from the beginning of the linked list, from the middle of the linked list, and from the end of the linked list. These are the things that we have learned in this unit, or the singly linked list chapter. So now there was an assignment that I need to post it in my last class, but I just forgot it. But अब यो मैले चाहिँ यो डेट चाहिँ हाम्रो यो पुरानो स्लाइड भएकोले गर्दा पुरानो डेट देखियो. आई पोस्ट दिस इन योर असाइनमेन्ट सेक्सन, होइन? त्यो 1 विक जतिको टाइम हुन्छ, एन्ड यु निड टु सबमिट इट है. क्वेसन के छ भन्दा, राइट अ प्रोग्राम टु क्रिएट अ सिंगली लिङ्क लिस्ट द्याट कन्टेन्स द नेम्स अफ द स्टुडेन्ट. स्टुडेन्टको नेम कन्टेन्ट गर्ने लिङ्क लिस्ट बनाउनु पर्यो. The program should be able to insert new student in the arbitrary location on the linked list. Programs should be able to insert students, है? नयाँ स्टुडेन्टलाई इन्सर्ट गर्न सक्नु पर्यो. Delete a student based on the name. It should be able to delete a student based on the name, and sort the list to find a specific student exists or not. For names, use string data type and its operation by using include string. So that means the same thing we did in singly linked list, but this is the string version. So you need to do this in string, हैन? हामीले चाहिँ इन्टिजरमा गर्यो, हामीले नम्बरमा गर्यो लिङ्क लिस्टको एप्लिकेसन, हैन? तिम्रो असाइनमेन्टमा चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि स्ट्रिङमा गर्नु पर्यो, बाइ पुटिङ द नेम अफ द स्टुडेन्ट्स. ठिक छ? त्यसमा प्रब्लम हुँदैन होला. म असाइनमेन्टमा राखिदिन्छु. यु निड टु सबमिट विदिन 1 विक है. म डेट सहित राखिदिन्छु आजै. ल, now let's start with doubly linked list now today. So we have completed the singly linked list, how we can create it, delete, sort, and all the operations in singly linked list. But now we are going to the doubly linked list. So listen carefully what doubly linked list is. Doubly linked list is sequential linked data structure. It is also sequential, similar to singly linked list. It also contains nodes. But each node contains 3 elements as opposed to 2 elements in singly linked list. In singly linked list, there were 2 elements in a particular node. But in doubly linked list, there are three elements or three parts in a single node. What are those three parts? Those three parts is, the first one is previous, the middle one is the reference to an element, that is the value, and the next. That means in singly linked list there were only value and the next pointer, but here there will be value, there will be previous pointer, and there will be next pointer. That means one more part or one more element, the previous pointer is present in this doubly linked list. So see the below figure, the complete linked list. There will be header, there will be tail, trailer, and there will be three element in every nodes. Every node ma tinta elements. See, so and those nodes next will point to the next item, and previous will point to the previous item. You can see. So you can see over here the next, this one next is pointing to the another element, and the previous of another element is pointing to the previous element. Similarly, in this second node, the next of this second node is pointing to the third node, and the previous of the third node is pointing to the second node, and so on. So this is the scenario in doubly linked list. So there must be next as well as the previous pointer, but the previous of the first item will be null, because there won't be any previous item from the first, and also the next of the last element will be null. These are the null. That means there won't be any next element of the last element or last node. Is that clear? What is the doubly linked list? Now this is the scenario. This is also the address, this is also the address, but there will be data in between, and the complete structure is called node. So this is a node of a doubly linked list. What are the advantages then? What are the advantages of doubly linked list? So the advantage is traversing can be done in both directions. This is the major advantage of doubly linked list. In singly linked list, we could not traverse backward. We could not traverse backward. That means we cannot go from last node to the first node. So that is the reverse direction of traversing. That was not possible in singly linked list, because there was no any pointers from backward to front. But that can be done in doubly linked list, because there are the pointers. See this figure. If you start from the last element, you can go backward to the first element or to the first node. That means you can traverse backward. That is possible in doubly linked list. This is a very important advantage of doubly linked list. And delete operation is more efficient if pointer to the deleting node is found. So that means delete can be done directly without searching from all over, right? हामीले अब यसको पछि प्रोग्राम लेखेपछि पनि you will be more clear how it is easier. Doubly linked list, this can quickly insert a new node before a given node or after a given node. हाम्रो singly भन्दा fast हुने भयो. This is the faster linked list than the previous one. And the list can also be reversed. If there are some nodes 1 2 3 4 5, and you can reverse it by doing 5 4 3 2 1 or something like that. So the reverse operation is very easier in doubly linked list. These are the advantages. So there are some disadvantages for doubly linked list as well, and that is requires more memory because of extra pointer. So at singly linked list, the memory required is less than the doubly linked list. That means in doubly linked list it is higher memory requirement, because we have now inserted one extra pointer. To insert a single node, we now need 3 different elements. That means that all of those needs to be stored in the memory. Memory मा त store गर्नु पर्यो linked list को data लाई अथवा pointer लाई. So that means it requires more memory. So all operations require an extra pointer previous to be maintained. Every operation should have take care of this extra pointer, that is the previous pointer. हैन हरेक अपरेसनमा हामीले previous pointerलाई केयर गर्नु पर्यो नि. So that is the another disadvantage of doubly linked list. Is that clear? Do you understand the advantages and disadvantages of doubly linked list now?
So यसमा चाहिँ हेडहरु हुँदैन?
Obviously हुन्छ, हेड पनि हुन्छ, टेल पनि हुन्छ यसमा त हैन, किनभने हेड नभए त हुँदै हुँदैन नि. फ्रम वेयर इट हैज बीन स्टार्टेड, कहाँबाट स्टार्ट भयो भन्ने कुरा त हामीले थाहा पाउनु पर्यो नि त. So there will be head. See, now हामी हेर्दै जान्छौँ स्ट्रक्चरहरु. ल, what operations this supports? It obviously support insertion at the end, insertion at the middle, or insertion at the front. It also supports deletion end up from the end of the list, from the middle of the list, or from the front of the list. And it also supports traversing in both directions. Traversing means printing out all of the elements. हामीले singly linked list मा display भन्ने function मा गरेका थियो नि. We have printed all of the elements in a from the linked list. हैन, that is also possible in the doubly linked list, but in both of the direction. You can also print from head to tail, and you can even print from tail to head. If there are items like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the linked list, you can print out it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can even reverse the list. You can completely reverse the list. That was not possible. That was not possible in a singly linked list. So also traversing from back to front was not possible in singly linked list, but that is possible in doubly linked list. Traversing from back to front, that means from tail to head, and also completely reversing the list, that is also possible in doubly linked list. So we'll see these operations one by one. Let's start with the node. What will be the structure of the node? So this is something different than our singly linked list. See the node. There are now 3 elements. One is the data, obviously, that is integer. Another is the pointer to the previous. Another is pointer to next. हाम्रो सिंगलीमा जस्तै हो, तर एउटा चाहिँ डाटा चाहिँ increase previous, and that is also the pointer. So we made it like this, asterisk previous, and that points to a node. That points to a node. So that means this is a pointer to the node, same as this next. So you need to make node like this at first, and then you can make other linked list and all those. So let's start with this one. है ल सुरु गरौँ. Let's start with implementation part में जम्मा भयो हामी. So let's make one file. I think you can, and save it as whatever you want. है ल. So let's save it as DLL or something. Let's make one folder. I'll make one folder and save it inside this. La. So doubly link this. So now you can make you can now start with creating a node. A node create gara suru garau ta la. So you need these things, all of these things, and then you create a node, and what will be there in the node? There will be integer of data, and then pointer to previous and pointer to next. These are the things that you need in node class. Node class में यो कुरा चाहियो हामीलाई, same as this, but this should be in public. यो scope specifier, you need to put this thing. Same as this. We had two of the data elements initially in singly linked list, but now it should be 3 in doubly linked list. you create the node at first, right? Node create गर्यो हामीले. Now let's go to the linked list. What will be, how can we create the linked list then? Our linked list को लागि we now make another class same as before, है. हामीले पहिला जस्तै linked list को class बनाउनु पर्यो. What will be there? अब linked list मा के हुन्छ? In public we may have head similar to before, है. हामीलाई head हुन्छ, we may have head, and now in W linked list there will be another tail as well. Last, which is the last element भन्नको लागि we have another pointer tail. Singly मा चाहिँ head मात्रै हुन्थ्यो. Head was the pointer to the node, first node. Tail is now the pointer to the last node. है, last node. यो कुरा चाहिँ another pointer एउटा आउने भयो यसमा, है. And then you can make a constructor linked list, and initially the linked list, in linked list the head will also be null and tail will also be null, because initially when the linked list is created, are created, there won't be any items. So that means head will also be null and tail will also be null. So if head and tail both are null, then we can say the linked list is empty in doubling. Is that clear? यहाँसम्म क्लियर छ? How we have created node and linked list भन्ने कुरा. ल भन त. So this is just the creation part, है. हामीले create मात्रै गरे भयो. Now there are some functions. यहाँ function देखिरा होला. So we will implement these things. हामी implement गर्दै जान्छौँ, है. Add in last display reverse हरु. So now let's start with insert at the end of the linked list. Let's start by inserting at the end of the linked list, है. linked list को end मा अब यहाँनिर एउटा कुरा चाहिँ यो हामीले नोड क्रिएट गर्दाखेरि you can do these things, है. यो हामीले सिंगली लिंक लिस्टमा राखे जस्तै you can create node here, है. नोड चाहिँ राख्न सकिन्छ यहाँनिर. जस्तै हाम्रो these are the constructor, हैन. So data, initially data is there, or we'll do this later. ल पछि नै हेरौँ ल. हामीले यो क्रिएट गरिसके पछाडी सजिलो हुन्छ. ल let's start with inserting at the end, है. end मा insert गर्नु पर्यो. So check if the list is empty. अब end मा insert गर्नको लागि we need to check for the list is empty. अब यो भन्दा पहिला let's make main function, है. तिमीहरु आफैले पनि ट्राई गर ल. मेन फंक्शन बनाउ त ल. सेम एज लास्ट टाइम. हामीले लास्ट टाइम गरे जस्तै गरी मेन फंक्शन ल. मेक इट. अब यसमा त हामीले मेनुहरु एभ्रीथिङ बनाउनु पर्यो नि त, हैन. सेम लिंक लिस्ट को के रे हाम्रो सिंगली लिंक लिस्टमा जस्तै ल. डु इट ल. So what we do, मेन मा चाहिँ we make a link, यो पछि चाहिन्छ भनेर बनाइराखे हो. यो पछि नै बनाए नै हुन्छ. So choice and we start with some menu ल. So while one insert item at the end of the linked list, है. डब्ली लिंक लिस्ट को केसमा यो चाहिँ. So then you switch for this case ल. switch, है. ठीक छ. switch for one. अब यहाँनिर हामी मिलाउनै छ यहाँ. So this is the close of which one? This one, and this is close for while. Okay, this much I think. La. And then we write return 0. I know. So we write return 0. You can even specify what's this. Okay. ल हामीले चाहिँ while मा web did this, है. ल यो चाहिँ के क्लोज भयो. This is the close for while. This is close for switch. This is for this while. And okay, fine. La. So what we are going to do now is we are going to insert item to the front of the linked list, sorry, to the end of the linked list. So this, the first choice is for to insert item to the end of the linked list, and now we ask user for the number again in the loop, and if the number was 0, then we just break it. Otherwise we create a node for that number. We create a node, so we need to make this uh, constructor at first, and then we call the add in last. So let's make a constructor. So that is, what is the constructor? Constructor for node, simply like this. हैन, हामीले कसरी बनाएको छ नोडको constructor? सी हैन, हामीले नोड भनेर यसरी constructor बनाएको छ. So this is the default constructor. Data will be 0 and the previous will also be null, and next will be null initially. So we have another constructor, parameterized constructor with the number, and we write data equal to num, and then previous equal to null, and next will also be null. That means what this means is, when you create a node, the data will be at the node, but the previous and next will be null. That means that is also shown in this figure. You can see here, when you create a node, the previous and next, both of those will be null. Only the data will be there. Before linking it to the linked list, हामीले लिंक लिस्टमा लिंक गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि त लिंक लिस्टमा लिंक गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि त यो both of these will be null, अनि यो डाटा त हुने भइहाल्यो हैन. जब हामी चाहिँ यसलाई लिंक लिस्टमा लिंक गर्छौं, then this value will be filled. त्यही भएर हामीले यहाँनेरि you can see हामीले चाहिँ यहाँ parameterized constructor मा we have just put previous and next to null. यसलाई null राखेको छ नि है, ठीक छ. So now let's go to main function again. Now we ask for a number, then we create a node like this. We create a node. This will call this parameterized constructor, and the number will go to data, and previous and next both will be null. And now we call the function add in last. Add in last function call गर्यो, but हामीले बनाएको छैन यो function लाई. So let's make the function same as in single linked list है. So this will be void accepts a node, and just put this in the linked list, like add in last हामीले राखे यहाँ, and then we implement that function over here. So like linked list colon add in last, then it will accept a node, and it will accept a node long, and then so same thing. So now there will be return time copy. Okay, so now it will accept a node हैन. हामीले जसरी सिंगली लिंक लिस्टमा गरेको थियो सेम नै हो यहाँ मेथड लेख्ने टेक्निक त, अब यहाँ डेफिनेसनमा अलिकति फरक हुन्छ. नाउ वी आर एडिङ दिस टु द लास्ट. अब चाहिँ हेरौँ लजिकमा है. अहिलेसम्म त ठिक छ नि हैन. अहिलेसम्म एकचोटि रन गरेर हेरौँ, हाम्रो एरर आउनु भएन हैन. हामीले लजिक त केही पनि लेखेको छैन, एरर आइसक्यो यहाँ हैन. यसलाई डिबग गर्दै गरे नि हुन्छ. So what was the problem? So node num. Do you see any problem? के problem देख्छ तिमीहरु? हेर त ल, डिबग गर्न पनि जान्नुपर्छ. So let's view.
So add in last function कल गरेछ नि
हजुर,
add in last function माथि नोड मा कल गरेछ नि.
नोड मा त किन कल गर्नु पर्यो त? एड इन लास्ट भनेको त दिस इज आवर फंक्शन फर द लिंक लिस्ट को फंक्शन हो नि.
गरेछ नि सर माथि.
हजुर,
इनिशियलाइजेसन गरेछ नि फंक्शन.
परेन यो भनेको त हाम्रो चाहिँ नोड को चाहिँ के रे लिंक लिस्ट को चाहिँ फंक्शन हो नि. यहाँ पो इनिशियलाइज गर्ने हो त. वी डोन्ट डू दिस इन दिस है. मेरो यहाँ हामीले डिबग बार देखिरहेको छैन. वेट है, टुलबार. So here project manager report window. This is the one. Okay, आइरहेछ. यसलाई स्टिक गरिदिउँ है कता. The problem is the field num has incomplete type node. ल नम मा चाहिँ हाम्रो के भयो? incomplete type node ल ठीक छ हेरौँला non static only be called statically at the end of the member declaration. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's see. Hey, what was the we just missed the data type यहाँनेरि हैन int num गर्नु पर्यो नि त data type accept गर्ने बेलामा त we need to write that mistake नै त्यही भयो है ल ठीक छ हैन ए ल लुपमा भएछ insert item भनेर ल ओके यो लुप भित्र भएछ so we need to make this while 1 so enter item at the end of the linked list so we ask and then what we do I think we break for something la यहाँनेरि चाहिँ हामीले so how we have managed before ल त्यो हेर्नु पर्यो है while लुप राख्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ इन्फाइनाइट लुपमा गयो so यो while कतिखेर ब्रेक हुन्छ see so it will break insert item to the end of the linked list then there will be break in every case अनि एउटा डिफल्ट चाहिँ हामीले राख्नु पर्यो केस 1 मा there will be break हैन केस 1 मा and यो ब्रेक के को केस 1 को हैन then we can also write another case है ल अर्को चाहिँ हाम्रो डिफल्ट हैन डिफल्टमा के गर्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ we need to write this is the while हाम्रो इन्फाइनाइट लुपमा गइरहेछ so we can manage this ल यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले नर्मल्ली ल so डिफल्टमा चाहिँ like you can write something like अब return 1 or invalid choice यस्तो राखे भयो and case 0 okay हामी यसलाई म्यानेज गर्न we can manage that thing afterwards as well हैन अहिलेको लागि चाहिँ let's start with how can we insert item at the end of the linked list त्यसमा चाहिँ जाउँ है ल so now let's see the thing है अब कसरी हामी गर्न सक्छौं भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ now we want to insert item or insert node at the end of the linked list हामीले node create गर्न प्रब्लम भएन we can create the node हैन हामीले फंक्शन कल गरिसक्दा node create भइसक्यो यहाँनेरि सेम थिङ यहाँ जस्तै हामीले we call the constructor call गर्ने बित्तिकै there is now node n1 is the node now we will insert that node at the end of the list so check if the list is empty initially what you need to do you need to check if the linked list is empty if the linked list is empty then make head point to the node as well as tail point to the node so that means if there was no item at the linked list initially that means the item you are inserting will be now the first as well as the last okay न भन त फर्स्ट पनि हुन्छ लास्ट पनि त्यही हुने भयो कि भयो नि त so what you do is in add in last you check for whether the head is if head equal to null you check whether the head is null this means the linked list is empty initially so this represents then if the head is null then this represents the linked list is empty initially that means there are no items in the linked list initially so that means the item the node you are inserting will be the what first node this will be the first node हैन त हामीले राख्ने अब फर्स्ट नोड हुन्छ as well as that will be the last node okay do I need to show you the figure यसको लागि फिगर देखाइराख्नु पर्छ र मैले बुझ्नु पर्ने हो ल let's see now we are now going to insert item to the linked list which has no items previously हैन head null भने चाहिँ previously केही पनि छैन so this is our node हाम्रो नोड भनेको चाहिँ यस्तो हुने भयो. So we have a node like this. हैन? We have a node like this. It will be null initially. हैन? It will be null and this will also be null. So this will also be null, and there will be some items at the in between or something like that. That is the number user inputted number or something like that. So this is our node. This is our node in W linked list. So we are going to insert this to the linked list, and we check initially what we need to do. We check whether the linked list is empty or not. So हामीले पहिला त linked list empty छ कि छैन चेक गर्नु पर्यो. So that means that is done by if head equal to null. Head equal to null भनेको we check for the whether the list is empty, हैन? List empty छ कि छैन भनेर चेक गर्छौं. Then if this is head null छ भने linked list त empty भयो. Empty भएपछि what we do? How we manage? We simply put the value of head as n. N is this one, right? Address of the node, and we also put tail to n. Head पनि n भयो, node को address भयो, tail पनि same भयो, because there is only one node. अब एउटा मात्रै node भयो नि त. मैले भने बुझ्दै छ? Do you understand this? Head null भएको केसमा किन बोल्दैन यिनीहरु? कति जना छ? 34. निराजन जीसी के छ? बुझ्दै छ?
सर
आर यु डुइङ दिस? गर्दै पनि छ कि छैन?
गर्दा सर मैले
हजुर मैले सुनिरहेको छैन तिमीलाई निराजन. खै त बोलिराखेको तिमी निराजन?
सुनेको छैन सर.
सुनेको छैन? अहिले चाहिँ सुने बल्ल.
ए
के भनिरहेको थियो ल भन त. खोइ
सर क्या चाहिँ बोल्न सकेको छैन कि अलि अघि जानु भयो.
किन? खोइ कहाँबाट हो तिमी?
म यता बेनी म्याग्दी.
तिमी पोखरामा हो कि यता आइएसएमटी? कता पोखराको कि यता
काठमाडौँ?
अनि किन क्याचअप गर्न नसकिरहेको त? किन मिस गरेको क्लास?
त्यो बत्ती जान्छ कि सर बेला बेलामा, त्यो भएर.
ओहो. रञ्जन दल्लाकोटी, आर यु देयर? खै रञ्जन.
यस सर.
आर यु डुइङ दिस? यो गरिरहेको छ?
यस सर. आधासँग गरे त्यसपछि फेरि बुझेन सर योबाट.
सोध्नु पर्यो नि त नबुझेको कुराहरू.
हेर्दैछु कि सर.
ल ठिक छ. ल सो नबुझेको कुराहरू सोध्ने है, कहाँनिर कन्फ्युजन हुन्छ सोधिहाल्ने. You need to implement all of these things. हजुर
टेल पनि एन्ड गरेको चाहिँ बुझेँ नि सर.
यो त टेल एन्ड गर्नु भनेको त the while you are inserting this node and we check for whether the head is null. Head null हुनु भनेको the linked list is empty. Empty छ भने त तिमीले राखेको item that will be the first item as well as that will be the last item. अब यो हाम्रो चाहिँ यसमा त टेल पनि छ नि त. We have tail in our linked list. खै there is. We have head, we have tail. Head points to the first item of the linked list. Tail points to the last item of the linked list. W मा है, W मा हेडले फर्स्टलाई पोइन्ट गर्छ, टेलले लास्टलाई पोइन्ट गर्छ. But at this condition there will be only one item. एउटा मात्रै नोड भयो नि त, एउटा मात्रै नोड भयो नि, द्याट विल बी द फर्स्ट एन्ड द्याट विल बी अल्सो द लास्ट नोड। एउटै नोड फर्स्ट हुने भयो, त्यही नोड लास्ट हुने भयो भने त एउटा मात्रै नोड भएपछि, सो वी निड टु पुट द भ्यालु अफ हेड टु एन एज वेल एज द भ्यालु अफ टेल टु एन। Is that clear now?
भयो सर।
For this condition only, when the head is null. So that was explained over here. Now next मा हेरौँ। But अब यति मात्रै हुन्छ, जहिले null हुन्छ भनेको छैन, there might be some other elements at the linked list initially. तिमीले त्यसमा एड गर्नुपर्ने हुन सक्छ। But if the linked list is not empty, then it's really easy to insert a node. We know tail points to the last element, therefore the last element next is null, but now we give the address of our node there. That means if there are already some nodes in the linked list, linked list ma chahi, for example, if there are already some nodes, है जस्तै हाम्रो चाहिँ let's assume हाम्रो चाहिँ already त्यहाँ चाहिँ linked list मा चाहिँ ल नोडहरु थियो रे ल, there are some nodes in the linked list initially, let's assume. So there might be some value. हैन हाम्रो चाहिँ यहाँनेरि अब there might be some values at previous and also at next ला। है हामीले previous पहिला यस्तो थियो भनेर बनाउँदै हो, we are making like that. So initially यो त null नै हुने भयो, the first item त null नै हुने, first item को previous त null नै हुने भयो। And अब हाम्रो यहाँनेरि there might be some values like 4, and यहाँ चाहिँ address हुने भयो, let's put 1000 over there, and what will be over here, यसको address हुने भयो। अब यसको address चाहिँ it might be 1200 or something, यहाँ के हुने भयो, there will be 1200 है यहाँनेरि चाहिँ, and there might be some values like 7 है, अलि सानो भएछ, I think you understand, this is 1200, this is 7, and there might be some, and the address of this node will be 1000 because the next part is 1000. Then there will be some, there will be address of another, that might be 1300 or something, and here should be 1000 previous one, यसको address चाहियो नि त, and there might be some values like let's say 8, and it will be null. It's another problem छैन नि हैन। This is our linked list. Now we are going to insert this node to this linked list at the end है, हामीले लास्टमा राख्न खोज्दै छौं। So what can we do? It is very simple. Just for example, let's say the address of this node might be 1500 or something, 1500 रहेछ भने how we do? We simply remove this null, the last null, and put this 1500 to this one, यहाँ राख्छ हैन, and then we also put previous of this node, यसको previous मा पनि यसको एड्रेस राख्नु पर्यो। what is the address of this, 1300 हैन, 1300 हो नि यसको एड्रेस, and next see, so how we do, this is not empty, so it is, so we check for, we go for the else part, if मा चाहिँ हाम्रो empty भएको केस भयो, we go for the else part भनेको the linked list is not empty initially, and what we do, we simply put next of the tail, अब यो हजुर सुनेको छैन,
ओके रहेछ सर,
still अहिले पनि
हल्का हल्का
ल Can you hear me now? अहिले सुनिरहेको छ?
सर
ल ठीक छ। So the value of tail will be, and tail को value कति हुन्छ? It will be 1300, and the value of head will be 1200. That means head will contain the address to the first node, tail will contain the address to the last node. यो ठीक छ नि हैन? I think you understand this. Now we are going to insert this item to this linked list. So what we do, we need to change the value of we need to change the value of next of the tail. That means this null will be replaced by this 1500. This null will be replaced by this 1500. This null means this is the next of the tail, because tail represents, tail points to the last node, tail points to the last node. Then next of tail means this address, this address. So next of tail, tail next will be, next of tail will be n. N is the, what is the n? N is the address of this node. यो त हाम्रो यो नोड त n हो नि त. This node is n. Or you can simply say node, let's, okay, this is node asterisk n. So that means this is the node n, this one, and n represents the address to this node. N represents the address to this node. That means tail को next मा लगेर हामीले n राखे भयो नि त. अब tail को next भनेर यो पार्ट हो, यो null जहाँनेरि हामीले यो null देखिरहेछ लास्टमा, you can see over there यो null छ नि. Now you simply remove this null and put what? You simply put this value, the address of this node. Address of this node means n, and that means n भनेको कति हो? 1500. We put this 1500 over there. So यो चाहिँ यो लाइनले गइरहेको छ. Where is that? Tail को next मा लगेर हामीले n राख्यौं. यो त भयो. Then what we need to do? अब यो प्रिभियसमा यो भ्यालु पनि त चेन्ज गर्नु पर्यो नि. अब यो नोडलाई यहाँ ल्याए पछाडी यो प्रिभियसको कुरालाई पनि अब हामीले के राख्नु पर्यो यहाँ भन त? के राख्नु पर्यो? We need to put the value of tail. पहिला टेलमा भएको भ्यालुलाई ल्याएर अब यहाँ राख्ने हैन त? हैन, यसमा ल्याएर राख्नु पर्यो. That means we do n को प्रिभियसमा चाहिँ हामीले केलाई ल्याएर राख्छौं? टेललाई ल्याएर राख्छौं. And we also update the tail. फाइनल टेललाई पनि त अपडेट गर्नु. अब नयाँ टेल भनेको त यो n को एड्रेस हो. That is 1500. किनभने लास्ट एलिमेन्ट त यो भयो. भनेपछि we simply update tail as n. n लाई ल्याएर टेलमा राख्छौं. ल हेर त अब. See this one. ल अब के छ त यसमा कन्फ्युजन? यो फिगर हेरेर आफूले ट्राई गर्नु पर्यो. अब ल यसमा हेर एकचोटी, ट्राई गर, and then tell me what's the problem. के छ प्रब्लम? नबुझेको के छ? ल खै त सबैलाई क्लियर छ त यो?
छ सर.
इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर. ल यो गर त. त्यसपछि डिस्प्ले एउटा गर. डिस्प्ले त हाम्रो सेम नै हो हैन, लिंक लिस्टको पहिलाकै जस्तो डिस्प्ले हो. त्यसमा अब मोडिफिकेसन गर्नु पर्यो भने मोडिफिकेसन गरेर डिस्प्ले गरेर ल यो एड गर्ने चाहिँ गर त. लास्टमा एड गर्ने चाहिँ सबैजनाले. ल लेट्स डु दिस. अब एउटा डिस्प्ले गर्ने चाहियो होला फंक्सन हामी, किनभने एड गर्ने भइसके पछाडी त वी निड टु सी द आउटपुट. आउटपुट हेर्नको लागि डिस्प्लेको लागि के गर्न सकिन्छ? ट्राभर्सको लागि. इट्स भेरी सिम्पल हैन. डिस्प्ले त हामीले पहिलाको र यसमा डिस्प्लेमा खासै फरक नै छैन नि. कहाँ थियो हाम्रो पहिलाको डिस्प्ले? हेरौँ ल. पहिलाको डिस्प्ले we start from the head, we traverse until we reach last, and we print out. Print out every time हामी इन्क्रिमेन्ट गर्दै जान्थ्यौं. ल एउटा डिस्प्ले फंक्सन पनि बनाऊ त. डिस्प्ले चाहिँ आफै बनाऊ. ल कसैले कम्प्लिट गरेछ भनेदेखि यु क्यान सेन्ड अस द स्क्रिनसट है रन गरेर आउटपुटको हामीले के को पठाउनु पर्यो भनेदेखि एड इन लास्ट एउटा हुनु पर्यो एन्ड डिस्प्ले त हुनु परिहाल्यो एन्ड दिस
सो स्क्रिन सेयर भएको हो?
स्क्रिन कसको तिम्रो?
अँ,
वेट मैले देखा छैन है। छैन। You can send us the screenshot काम सकेको छ भने screenshot पठाइ हुन्छ आउटपुटको। खोइ त कसैले पनि पठाएन त। कसले सक्यो?
मेरो सक्ने स्क्रिन सेयर भएन।
ठिक छ स्क्रिनशट पठाऊ स्क्रिनशट च्याटमा। आछि साथीहरूले पनि देखिहाल्छ। ल सबैजनाले यो चाहिँ कम्प्लिट गरेर भोलिको क्लासमा आउँदा चाहिँ यो गरिसक्यो भने भयो डिस्प्ले र यो चाहिँ इन्सर्ट गर्ने चाहिँ। इन्सर्ट आइटम डिस्प्ले ओके 678 0 7 ओके ल ठिक छ फाइन। ल जयस पियाले पठाइसक्यो ल। ल सो आजलाई यति नै गरौँ है त मेरो अर्को क्लासमा। थ्याङ्क यू।